Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Local to Me. This is Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
And this is Diane Erb with the same organization.
So we are going to have a great show for you guys today. Hopefully y'all saw our Facebook post earlier where we put out that we are going to be having a special guest calling in around 12:15. And we'll be speaking with Mina Starziak-Hawk. She is one of the hosts of HGTV's Good Bones. And for those that have watched that show, and I know quite a few of you out there listening have, and a lot of people are interested or getting more so interested in the flipping of homes. And so I think that having her on, I'm excited to talk to her about how she's doing that. I know one of my good friends actually has started. She just bought her very first flip, and it's something my daughter has been wanting to do for a while. But we're going to be chatting with her. She is going to be our keynote speaker next week at our Empower Women's event. And so we're going to chat with her a bit about that, just kind of about how she sees herself as a leader in, the community that she's in, and how she is working in what is considered a male-dominated, world, like in construction and home flipping. So we're going to be talking with her a little bit. And then we have the wonderful, fantastic Libby Orman here with us from Easley Hedrick Insurance.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. So Libby is, most of you, if you've listened in, is probably our most loyal listener and caller. And so she's also our train sponsor this month. And we are going to be chatting with her about insurance, and then your guess is going to be as good as mine, because when Libby and I and Diane, we get together, it is, what is it? No holds bar. We have to have the little beeper ready.
Yeah. I mean, I asked about the delay, but apparently there's no delay.
Start
exercising your finger, Woody.
Yeah, get on it, because who knows what's going to come up. But so I'm really excited to this show.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you made it. Glad you found us.
I know. I couldn't find it at first, and I was just like,
Bedford's a tricky town. It's so
well,
busy.
I'm not from here. I don't live
up.
here. I've only worked here for 8 years, but I stayed in my office in the bank. That's it. That's where I go.
And you don't venture to these back roads.
Yeah, I don't know these back roads. So.
Yes. Well, speaking of, I just wanted to throw out a quick thank you to everyone who came out to our Putt-Putt event last week. It went really well.
It was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was perfect weather, too.
And we raised money. So we are going to be giving out a scholarship for someone in the trade field to the Build Smart Institute. And we're going to have more information about that in the upcoming weeks on how people can apply for that. And hopefully we'll be doing it again next year, because it was fun. And Putt-Putt was phenomenal to work with.
Yeah. And check out the Build Smart Institute located in Roanoke, because, that's a phenomenal addition.
Especially if you're looking at getting into the trade field.
Yeah.
Because it's needed.
So important.
It is.
Because, I need somebody to come to my house and fix something, you know, and I need you to know how to do it, because I don't, and YouTube only takes me so far. So.
Is that where the off-brand Cheez-It box come in, where you're...
Don't start with me, Diane. About some off-brand Cheez-Its.
We're going to be starting. Okay. 12:35, we're going to talk about off-brand Cheez-Its. Do you like them or not? No. Venture into goldfish. That was the topic yesterday.
But no, really, you think about it, and this is just my own opinion. This is not the opinion of the CVABC, but, they... when I was in high school, 20 plus years ago, in the 90s, but, they were always like, you have to go to college, you have to go to college, you have to go to college. And they didn't really emphasize hey, you could go into HVAC, you could go into plumbing, you could go into that. And now here I am, 40 years old, don't know how to fix anything, couldn't change a tire if I needed to. So I need, auto body, or repairman, all that stuff. And, it's hard to get good quality people to come, because, they're just...
And the same goes for dental hygienists or things like the cosmetology. Because I have friends of mine that did that, and they were already working, making money while I went off to college. And I'm not going to lie, I had a good year of college, and then I came back. But then, my thing is, and I was telling somebody else today, the only person that is going to limit you is yourself. And, I don't think anyone should be told that just because you have a piece of paper, that doesn't make you any more important than someone that comes and puts in your HVAC or does, And so those trades right now with COVID have like blown up as far as like the people need all of that stuff, and they're needing people that are experienced. And so definitely check out the Build Smart Institute, and then listen out for more information as we will be posting our job fair and a trade fair that will be coming in July, held at the Build Smart Institute, so that people can come out and see what jobs are available or what trades they could potentially go into and how they can get started with those. So that's going to be a really good event, and that'll be a first time event for us, but I think it's something that we really needed to put out there. So
Yeah.
yes, I am now excited to tell everyone that our Empower Women's event is sold out.
Yay.
Yes, we have sold 100. We are only allowed to have about 120 women at the Amazement Square warehouse, and we have hit 120, including you and me, because we have to be there, so we had to include ourselves.
I was going to call in sick that day.
I don't think
kidding.
you want
Well, then I'll
No,
be there.
I'm excited.
You
I'm
do
excited.
not want to call in sick.
Yeah.
I am the speakers that we're going to have. For one, Mina calling in, and well, not calling in. She's going to be live video, but our other speakers that'll be there throughout the day, and the different topics they're bringing to the table, they all kind of interweave with each other.
Yeah.
But they all have some just great emotional pieces to them, learning.
Life experiences on their part.
Yes.
Yep.
I'll tell you. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you want to learn more about our speakers, we do have a 2021 Empower Women Series Facebook page. I encourage you to go to that and follow it and like it. You'll learn more about each speaker. We're going to start posting them each day along with the topic that they'll be speaking on. And also talking about our Athena Award luncheon, which is part of this. That doesn't happen until July, and you will still be able to get tickets to that and listen to that speaker. But it's going to be a phenomenal day. I feel like we're going to have some tears shed, some laughter. I think it's just going to be all around fun.
Well, even when we met with them to kind of, gauge what they were talking about and things like that, that was emotional. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not even sitting here during a seminar yet. How am I going to act?
I remember last year sitting at last year's event and
Yeah.
hearing Melissa Stevens, her, experience and story. And I mean, I was trying so hard not to tear up in front of everybody, but I was like, wow. And I remember, I don't really know her, but I sent her a message and I was just like, that meant a lot. Like that. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And I think you touched a lot of women in that room. And that was just such a fun event. I'm so excited to go next week.
It really is. It's uplifting when you put so much into it that you really don't think about the effect it's going to have on you until you're sitting there, and then afterwards you leave and it's like, wow, and some of these women that speak, they may just think it's their story. Well, this just happened to me and this is how I, coped and dealt with it. But I mean, that will affect other people listening and, really have an effect on them. So I'm excited about it.
I think that too, being that this is our third year, and we've kind of tweaked it a little bit from the first year and the second year, but also the fact that just in its second year, we won silver for best professional development workshop in our area from Lynchburg Business Magazine for something that, has only been going, 2 years. I think that says a lot too, because I didn't even know we were nominated until
Until you won.
I didn't even have time to be like, oh, please, go out and vote for us. But, it was really close to the end before I even knew we had been nominated. And so to come in second place, that's, for me, that was awesome.
Yeah, and it's second year.
Yeah. So I think this year we're just going to keep building because we are reaching out. We're having bigger speakers come in, with the keynote topics. And my goal, and I know Diane's goal too, is to continue to do that. We want to bring in people that have stories to tell and can relate to the women in our area. And let me just say, it is a women's seminar. Men, you can come too. If you want to come out and
Well,
listen.
not this year. It's sold out.
Well, yeah, no, not now.
No.
Because it's sold out.
It's sold out.
But you
Sorry.
you can come to the Athena Award luncheon. But we have had men that have come and supported their wives, their employees, their coworkers, and they've learned, I think, stuff from that too. So I encourage you to definitely check it out. Definitely stay on top of us for next year, because we start planning the event as soon as we finish up. And then, make sure you're following us for the Athena Award. The Athena Award nominations for that will open on May 6th at the Empower seminar. And for those who are not familiar with the Athena Award, it is a very prestigious award. It is given out internationally. Some of the winners have been like Nobel Prize winners. They have been, I think, prime ministers, like really, really important people. And we have the rights to that award here in our area, and we give one out to a standout leader, a woman that has shown professionalism, mentorship, and then a young professional as well that has shown those same things. We can see them as an up and coming, mentor and leader. And Libby, you were nominated last year for young professional.
I know, I barely made it. If we had to keep pushing the luncheon back, I would have had to drop out because
we could have just bumped you up.
Your age.
Right, yeah, because we were supposed to be like in May, and then it got moved to July, and my birthday was in November, and I was going to be 40, and I was like, ooh. And I remember Johanna Calfee, who won the Athena Award last year. I messaged her when I found out that she was nominated, and she and I are only like 4 days apart. And I was like, oh, I got nominated for the young one. And she was like, what the heck?
Y'all are babies.
But I mean, I lost, so whatever.
Stop it.
I mean, I was up against Carrie Wright. I mean, what am I going to do with that?
Well, yes. So definitely follow that and nominate a strong woman here in Central Virginia that you think is deserving of that. It's not hard. You'll go to our website. We'll have the nomination forms up there starting on May 6th. And we encourage you, we want to have a lot of nominees. We want these women to see that they're appreciated, whether they win or not. Just being nominated and seeing that they are recognized as a powerful person in our area I think that means a lot more to them even than just winning. And the event is, in my opinion, it was very well done. And we had Miss America there last year, and we gave a lot of recognition. Even during COVID, we were still able to pull the event off. And that was really nice to have that event during times where you really weren't getting out much.
And I think my favorite part of the awards luncheon last year was just hearing all the other nominees' stories. I mean, I knew some of them in passing, and then some I didn't know. And like somebody like Johanna, I knew very well, so I knew her story. But, just hearing part of the nomination process was that we had to answer questions, and then Heather read some of our answers, and I was cringing like, oh gosh, what is she going to pull out of my paper today? But like hearing,
be careful what you write.
Yeah, exactly. Now I know. All the next times I'm nominated. Just kidding.
See,
but no, like hearing their thoughts and everything. It was just it was a lot of a lunch. I was like, wow, I left feeling very full mentally and actually because the food was good.
Yeah, it was very good. And the thing is, like Heather and I and Debbie, we don't vote on, we don't get that opportunity to vote for the winner, but we do get the opportunity to read through them, and it is amazing. I'll read through it, and then I feel like I ask myself this once a week, like, what have I done with my life? I could, these women, I thought I was busy, but these women are doing so many things, so I don't know. I strive to do better, I guess.
if I had to be a judge, there's no way.
It's hard
because I couldn't do it.
I've been a judge for your panel for the business awards,
right?
In the past, and you're reading these, not only are you reading what the business owner has written about themselves, but you're reading about what their nominator or whatever the correct term is has written about them. And so I think that's more interesting than what they're saying about themselves, because those things are hard to fill out when you have to write about yourself and you have to bump yourself up. But when someone else has taken their time and gone out of their way to nominate you and say, like, this business or this person is so amazing and these are the reasons why, that's, you know, what I really find interesting.
And it can't be like just, I want to nominate Libby because she's my employee and I like her. Like, it's very detailed. Like, we ask them a lot of questions, and then the nominees have to send back their answers plus have a letter of recommendation sent with it too, because, you know, like I said, it's not a small thing.
No, I was very honored to be in that mix, and I will take that with me.
See?
Yes.
Oh, see, and I always show the pictures of all of them lined, like all the ladies, they're all lined up in their masks
With our
their
mask,
certificates. But yeah, it was one. We held it at the Kirkley last year, and they were fabulous at helping us still be able to do that socially, you know, distant and have that event. And this year, we're going to be having it at a new location. There's a new wedding venue opening up in the Bedford area.
Oh.
Yep. So
Fancy.
I'm
We
really
get fancy with
excited.
it.
Well, I will get ready. I'll go home today and start for July prep.
So we're going to be hosting the Athena Award Luncheon there in July. And I think I have mentioned, but I will mention again, our keynote speaker for that event.
I can't handle it. I
is
can't
already-
handle it.
No, I may have to call in for that
I
one.
might have to walk out.
It's already set.
It's too hard.
So we'll be talking with Caitlin Roydebellis, and she is the first grade Sandy Hook elementary school teacher. And she is the one that she saved her first grade classroom when, you know, tragedy struck there. And I can't even imagine having to go through that, but you know, then she has kind of risen above, and she's started, you know, these foundations, and you know, the more I read about her, just a phenomenal, you know, person.
It's amazing how people go through something like that and take from it and make something positive out of it. But I got chills. I want to bust out
know.
crying. I really don't.
Don't wear mascara.
I'm gonna
that
have to sit in
day.
the bathroom by myself during that one or something. I can't do it.
I was gonna say I'd sit with you, but that sounded weird.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe in a different stall we can
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
We'll do that.
So I highly encourage you, if you are not going to be able to make it this year because, you know, we're sold out with the luncheon, hopefully next year we'll be able to have more attendees. Of course, we had to cap it this year due to the restrictions of how many people we could have at an indoor event. And I do want to thank a couple of people real quick. Western Ways, who is our title sponsor of that event. She has been the title sponsor since the inception of this event, and she has, you know, never hesitated about renewing that sponsorship. And so I'm extremely grateful to Diana Hobson and, you know, what she has helped do with that. I want to thank the White Hart Cafe. They're going to be providing our coffee and everything for this event. And then the Lunchbox in Rustburg is going to be catering our
The lunchbox is so
Lunch.
good. Because when I
Yes.
used to work in Rustburg, we would go there all the time for lunch, and it's so good. So when I got the thing from Diane the other day that was like, pick your lunch, I was like, yes.
I'm getting a chicken salad. I'm looking
I
forward to
forgot
that.
what I was signed up for, but you know. It's all good.
gonna be
It's all
good
going to be
either
good
way.
regardless.
So I have not had the chicken salad, but I have had the egg salad, and I know that's good. And they also just bought the drugstore grill, which is in
Yes,
Brookneal.
yes.
So definitely would encourage you to check them out if you're ever out that way. And we are still waiting. Mina is going to be calling in hopefully soon, and we'll get her on. But while we're waiting, I mean, let's go ahead and chat with Libby.
Let's
About
do it.
Anything.
What do you want to start off
Call
with?
in. Ask me a question. Ask me anything. I'm just kidding. Don't.
Now we have
do
a
that.
segment, Ask Libby. And we're also going to start a segment soon called Trash Talk with Diane.
Oh, I want to
Yes.
be on that show.
We're
Yeah,
excited about
yeah.
that.
Or little story time. We could go either way.
Did you say little stories?
I always have stories.
Same.
So, okay. So start off, Libby. Tell us about Easley Hedrick. And,
Okay.
you know, I know that, you know, you can say, okay, they're insurance, but what makes you guys like different than other insurance companies? Tell us a little bit about how you guys got started.
Well, I'll just give you a little background on the company itself. Easley Hedrick, the name comes from two brother-in-laws that own the business. And it definitely is a family-owned business. It's two gentlemen named Brandon Hedrick and Suter Easley. Like I said, they're brother-in-laws. Brandon is married to Suter's sister. And then also Suter's father works there as well in our Chatham office, and their mom. So it's definitely a family-run business. And they definitely treat us like family. So I do enjoy working there. I have been in my office for about 8 years. It'll be 8 years this, I was like, what
Good
was that?
song. Sorry, that was my phone. I forgot to turn it off.
If you're ever in a meeting with us, you
I
will always hear
know.
that
If
song.
you need to,
I know.
if you're an Eve 6 fan, here you
So
go.
sorry, Libby.
I know, it's like the
Continue, please.
90s came back all of a sudden.
That's our commercial break.
I know, like, is this the Oscar music? It's like, all right, girl. But no, so I have been there for 8 years. It started off here in Bedford as Nichols Insurance Agency, and then in 2018 turned into Easley Hedrick as we became an office or an agency, excuse me, of 7 offices, and we have 2 in the Richmond area: South Boston, Farmville, Danville, Chatham, Bedford. And I didn't count it off on my hands quite right, so I might have missed one. But we have about 30 agents total for, across all the all the offices. And what makes us different than some of the other companies out there now is that we are what's called an independent agency, meaning that we don't just write for one company. We used to be exclusive and would only basically write for nationwide insurance, but now we have a plethora of companies that we can write, which means that we can then tailor for you. So if you don't quite fit in the nationwide product, or say the nationwide product is maybe not at your price point, we can search around instead of you having to go on the internet and look up insurance companies in Bedford or insurance companies in Richmond or wherever you're looking. You can just call us and we can shop it for you, which makes it very convenient. And then sometimes the companies, you always hear bundle, all this other stuff. Sometimes that's not always the best match, depending on your situation. You may have a home that doesn't meet the criteria of one company, so we would need to put you in this company for your home and maybe this one for your auto. But we try to find the best match and the best, definitely the best price. But we're more concerned about your coverage. Mm-hmm. And that's, one of the things I wanted to talk about today was just, I understand price. I have to pay my bills too. I get it. I want it to be $10 a month too, but that's not the case. But what I'm more concerned about is protecting my investments. And a big thing I've noticed a lot, and I have this conversation a lot with clients or prospective clients, is, they'll call up and say, I want auto insurance. And you talk to them a little bit about that. Well, I just want enough to be street legal. That's all I want.
Yeah, that's not the best.
Unfortunately, and I mean, then that's fine if you need to be street legal, but we're definitely going to have a conversation about, what does that mean and what are you buying? Because that's the most important thing is what are you buying? Do you have enough coverage for your home? Do you have enough coverage for your car or business or even your life? One thing we do offer is life insurance, and that is a very hard conversation to have with some people, but it's a very necessary conversation.
Yeah. I need to look into that. And I actually started writing down all of the different kinds of insurance that you have, and then I gave up because there's so many.
It's so many.
So what is cyber insurance? Because I don't know. No, I don't know. But pet insurance too.
Yes.
I need to really look into that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if anybody that owns a pet, especially, I feel like dogs cost so much money. So we definitely offer insurance. And now we have a couple of different carriers that do offer pet insurance, so that when you go to the vet and say, you have that, I hear my friends all the time, like, I had to take my dog and it's a $3,000, surgery for my dog. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even know if I've had a $3,000 surgery for myself, other than,
Wow. Yeah.
But so we offer coverage for that. But yeah, there's coverages for everything. I mean, you have, like you said, your cyber liability, you have your professional liability, you have, just boats,
Like everything.
RVs,
Everything except a train.
Yeah, we don't offer train insurance, not yet. But give it time, because there are some things. I've been in insurance. I started my career with insurance in 2008 and with Nationwide, and I worked for Nationwide, not for an agency, but actually for Nationwide. And insurance has evolved so much in the last 13 years. It's crazy, some of the things that we now have coverage for.
Yeah.
But I guess a point I would like to try to make to anybody listening, if you gather nothing else other than, I like to talk too much from this, hour of conversation, but it's just call your agent once in a while, or take the phone call from your agent when they call you, because there's probably a reason behind them calling you, because your life will change over, think about the last 5 years and how much your life has changed. You have either added family members, like in the last 5 years, I've added a husband and I've added a child, I've added a home and all these things, that if I never paid attention to my insurance, that might be an issue.
Yeah.
But also my husband and I are renovating our house room by room. As anybody that follows me on Facebook knows, it's every single day once Willa goes to sleep.
I enjoy those pictures though.
Well, you can come help.
I'm clumsy, but I will come help.
I'm not saying it looks like Mina came to my house to do anything. Okay, we've definitely had to do some touch up paint the other night. But when people are renovating their basements and taking it from an unfinished basement to a finished basement, call your insurance company and tell them that, because your insurance company needs to know that for the reconstruction cost. Because if something happens to your house and we don't think you have a finished basement, but then you just spent $25,000 renovating your basement, now you have an extra 1,000 square feet of finished space, we need to know that. So it's important to have that conversation with your agent. But like I said, just some stats that I wrote down. One stat that I wrote down, but we were talking about life insurance, and I heard a figure this week that kind of stunned me a little bit, but at the same time, I wasn't super shocked. But over half of Americans, I've heard a varying 52 or 58%, do not have life insurance of any kind.
I don't. I am
We're
in
gonna
that.
have a conversation.
Yes, let's do
Not
that.
right now, but
No.
later.
Yeah, I don't need people knowing my business. Except that I don't have my life together, but
But,
I need some insurance.
Yeah, and I mean, and like I said, it's a tough conversation to have with people, but it's a necessary one, because you definitely want to have it, beforehand instead of,
Yeah.
but even if you have it through your work, call your insurance agent, just inquire, because life insurance is not that expensive. If you're just an average person, it's not that expensive. So it's good to kind of have some, like I have some through my work, but then I also have some that I manage myself.
Yeah.
So if for whatever reason I didn't have the one at work, I left the company, they told me to leave, or they did away with that benefit. Because a lot of companies, when they had to cut costs, did away with those types of benefits.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, it was either that or fire some employees.
Yeah, that's true. I know my grandmother, she had dementia. And before, my parents really understood that, or accepted the fact that, yes, she's really got dementia. She had, canceled her life insurance on her own, like canceled it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she lived probably another 3-4 years. And that was a mess, seeing what my parents had to deal with, because she didn't have insurance anymore. And that's scary, and then I think, that would have, should have made me realize that, hey, I need to call somebody about, my husband, myself, and get this together. And
yeah, I think a big thing that people are kind of hesitant when it comes to buying a life policy or even inquiring about one is they're like, I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to, oh, I'm a little overweight, or I, smoke a cigarette or whatever. And we, again, because we're an independent agency, we have so many companies. So there is a lot of negotiating and whatnot that we can do as far as, you don't want a health exam. We have some companies, depending on what product you want to buy, that may not require a health exam, may not require you to disclose, information, or it's okay if you smoked a cigarette or whatever.
yeah.
But you never know what, I always say, I don't know what I don't know. So if you're not asking, or if you're not listening when someone's trying to talk to you about it, you'll never know. And that could be a big regret. So
I am a huge advocate of life insurance and pre-planning, and I know that's something else people don't like to talk about. For those who don't know, like I actually used to be a salesperson at Virginia Memorial Park
That's so
never knew
weird,
that.
Heather.
years and years ago. So I literally sold holes in the ground. But the
Only
thing
you
is-
could do that, though.
only me. But you know, people don't realize just how much it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And the last thing you want to do when you are grieving is have to deal with that. And having life insurance helps, but having stuff already done helps even more. And, you know, I had to go through it a little bit even myself back a few months ago when my brother passed away, because he did not have any life insurance. He had been laid off due to COVID. And, you know, we had to go in there and there's nothing. And so you have to figure out how in the world are you going to pay for this? And you don't want to think about that.
No.
So it's definitely something to think about, to talk to, just even to get information and be knowledgeable. I think that's, I hear people say it all the time, that, you know, the more you know, the more knowledge you have, the more power you have. And, you know, I feel like people are, like you said, they're scared, I think, to get out there and, yeah, I don't know,
I mean,
find
nobody
out the
wants to
information.
talk about it. I mean, nobody, you know, wants to be like, oh, well, you know.
I feel like because they think it's going to happen, like right then, if they talk about it. I mean, I know
Maybe,
I've
yeah.
had that mindset. It's like, well, I don't want to talk about it because
But I mean, unfortunately,
You have to accept
that's
it.
one of the inevitable things of life.
I know
I
it
mean, no
is.
matter what you do, no matter how healthy you are, no matter how much money you have, like,
Yeah.
but it will inevitably happen at some point. Now, you know, we don't know when. That's why it's best to get your policies early. You know, don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until you get that terminal diagnosis from the doctor, because I don't know if I have much of a market for you at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say I don't, but I'm not real confident in it. But, you know, when you know, for me, I'll give an example of myself. I never had life insurance until I was 37, and which sounds crazy. I'm an insurance agent. So, I mean, I'm in the same boat with everybody where they're just like, oh, I don't know. But Luke and I, my husband Luke and I had purchased a home, and I was like, all right, well, this guy and I are now on the, because we weren't married at the time. This guy. But I was like, we're on the hook now for 30 years for this home, for this mortgage. And I mean, you know, he would have been fine had, you know, my paycheck not been coming home. But at the same time, I didn't want to burden him with that. And so I was like, all right, well, I'll get some term insurance, you know, in place so that for the next 30 years, for the life of this loan, if I don't come home one day, he can pay off the house and he'll be fine, and it's not going to be a financial burden on him. So a lot of people use it for that. We even have like a new product. So we just got appointed with Auto Owners Insurance, if you've heard of that. They are a great company, very competitive prices. But they offer, I mean, we literally just got appointed with them like in the last 2 weeks. But they have a product where, you know, I just bought a new car on Saturday. I could get a short-term life insurance to cover the life of the loan on my car. Like, so that if, you know, something happens to me, you know, Luke's not on the hook for the rest of my car. So I was like, that's incredible.
Wow.
You know, so I mean, you could do, and they did it like in a 5-year term, and then you could renew it. So you could renew it once. So a total of 10 years. And that was very simple to quote. It was very simple to issue, very little underwriting, you know, all of that. So it's definitely something to think about. And then even people don't think about their children, getting life insurance on their children. And so with my daughter, as you guys know, I have an 18-month-old daughter named Willa, and we got insurance on her. We did what is called a 20 pay. So we pay for it for 20 years. Then it's paid for its whole life insurance, meaning that it will be in force unless she canceled it or we cancel it, but it, you know, it will be in force until her final day. And she also has the opportunity to buy more insurance when that term is up. She has the opportunity to change that into other products, you know, whatever is going to tailor her. But I put a rider on there saying that she has guaranteed insurability, meaning that, you know, when she's 20, you know, we bought it when she was only like 5 months old or whatever. So when she's 20 and getting ready to graduate from college or whatever she plans to do with her life, let's say something happened. Maybe she wouldn't qualify normally. Maybe she has some kind of illness, or, you know, she likes to eat or something. I don't know. And like maybe, you know, like didn't meet the height and weight requirement, but I don't know. She's like her dad. So she's long and lanky and eats everything in the house. And then, you know, it's like it never happened. So that little lucky girl. But yeah, so she would have guaranteed insurability to where she could get more life insurance even if she wouldn't normally qualify. So that was
Oh,
very
that's
important to
neat.
me. And then when I wrote my policy, I put a rider in there, you know, like I said, before I was married, before kids, I put a rider on mine that said any future children that I have are covered from the moment that they're born. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
really
under
neat.
my
I didn't even know
policy.
you could do that.
Not every company can do that, but I wrote mine through Nationwide, and you can. Like, you can put a child rider on there as long as you can add it up until right before your third trimester. But I mean, I added it before I ever got pregnant. So I knew that Luke and I wanted to have kids down the road and put that on there. And I mean, it was, I don't know, maybe the difference of $1 a month. I mean,
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That's
it was,
good.
yeah, it was crazy. But, you know, life insurance is not that expensive. People think it's so expensive, but I mean, you could do
Yeah.
like, you know, $250,000 for, you know, $30 a month or $25 a month or something like that.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. If I would cut down on my Joe Beans, I would have that
Right.
made, you know.
Right.
My daughter's listening, and she said she needs pet insurance.
Oh, does she?
So just add that to her policy.
I'll just-
'cause
yeah.
I know you already.
Yeah. Autumn is a,
I do need
she's
pet
a great
insurance.
client.
And y'all do renter's insurance too?
Absolutely.
I have
yeah.
known people that rented and, you know, there was flooding or there was something crazy that happened. It
And they think their
ruined
landlord's
stuff.
going to cover it?
Yeah, and
Nope.
it just doesn't. Because
No.
9 times out of 10 in their contract or whatever that they signed, you know, they're not responsible. So,
Yeah, for sure. And some landlords require it, but not all landlords require
Yeah.
renter's insurance. I think the whole time I ever rented, I think one required me to have a policy. But yeah, people have that misconception of, you know, well, the guy that owns my house is going to pay for that. And it's like, no, he's only
No,
concerned about the house
sweetheart.
itself. He's not concerned that, you know, someone robbed you and took your TV
Yeah.
and all of that. And so it covers that. And then that renter's insurance also includes liability coverage. So, you know, say I'm renting a home and you come over and you trip off the porch and decide to take me to court, it's going to provide coverage for that as well. So, you know, people don't realize that. And renter's coverage is not that expensive.
No, it's
because you're only
not.
covering your stuff and the liability. That's
Yeah.
it. You're not covering the actual dwelling. So it's really not that expensive. And then, of course, that qualifies for home car discounts when you start adding in auto insurance and whatnot. But yeah, I can write you one of those as well.
Cool. And you're located right here in the town of Bedford, right?
Right at the Food Line Shopping Center on Longwood.
Okay.
We are.
And I will state it, like Easley Hedrick is a sponsor of our organization. And so like we're very appreciative for all you guys do for us. And I've really enjoyed even getting to know, like I follow your Facebook page. And I love
The
how
Easley Hedrick page?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I love how personable they are. Like as well. I mean, and you too, Libby.
Thank
just
you.
But I love how personable they're always like wishing their staff happy birthday and talking about their anniversaries. And, you know, it's just very, you know, you can tell they care about their staff and their clients. And I think that's really great.
Yeah, we started a new little segment that we've only done it once, but I think we're going to do it every other week. So we did it last week, where we're really getting to know our agents and letting the people know our agents. So I was the guinea pig. I went ahead and went first. You may have seen it, where it was
see
just
that.
like 5 fast facts about me or about Libby. And I was like, okay, I don't want to hear that you've lived in Lynchburg your whole life and that you have a dog and a kid and a husband. I mean, yes, that's interesting, but I want to go deep.
Who are you?
Yeah, like tell me some fun little, like, you know, like when you go to parties and stuff and they're always like, oh, you know, tell me something interesting about yourself. So mine, if I remember correctly, was I rode in an elevator with Destiny's Child
What?
in DC, like when they were first starting out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, you know, that's crazy. Also, little known fact about me, just kidding. Everybody knows it if they know me. But my sister and I, this is going to date me, but my sister and I in 1987 were the Swatch Watch models for the Mid-Atlantic region. So,
Shut up.
yes.
Are you kidding? I have not heard Swatch Watch.
Swatch
in-
Watch.
my
So you have
so
to imagine,
long.
I was like 6, you know, maybe 7, depending on what month it was
Oh
in
my
1987,
gosh.
and had like my sister and I had these pictures of all these Swatch watches down our arm. Like why we had to wear like 5 of them on one arm, I have no idea, but that was
Do you still have
the
any?
they let me keep one. It was yellow and it had like a little like mountain climber on it. Because, you really couldn't tell time on those things. They were just crazy. Like the
Yeah.
Swatch watches were crazy. So I remember being like the second grade with like an $80 watch, and I thought I was like a baller.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so that was another thing. And then I don't know that I
Do you
can't.
still have that picture though?
I'm sure my mom does. Because
We need to see that.
yeah,
Yes, if your mom's listening,
yeah.
we need you to
all right,
email
Carolyn,
that to
look in
Heather
the
at
boxes.
cvabc.org.
Yeah, shout out to Carolyn Prince.
I'm going to
Please
put that on
please
your
look in
Gems
the
team page.
yes, like I'm making a
That is
throwback Thursday.
hysterical.
But and then another favorite of my coworkers is that I never learned how to ride a bike.
What?
Yeah, I never learned how to ride a
Oh.
bike. I'm 40 years old. Never learned.
Well, so do you want to learn how to ride a bike?
No.
Really?
Yeah. So, but we're having like a sales contest at work, and I actually just messaged one of the guys at work today because he was given the sales contest ends this week at the end of April, and he's like, "Oh, we're at this number, and we need this much more to meet the goal and whatnot." And I was like, "Well, all right. Well, if we get there, I mean, you can teach me how to ride a bike."
Oh my gosh.
Or on Facebook,
I want to be there. I
I
want to
didn't
see.
put it. I didn't put it in the chat, but I meant to say like on Facebook, like you can film my 40-year-old self trying to learn to ride a bike. Or another fact about me that was not on my 5 fast facts was I have never, under any circumstance, watched any Star Wars. No, none of the movies. It's just not my thing. It's not my jam.
It's not. I've seen it, but it's not my.
Well,
thing either.
I have one coworker. His name is Brady. He came to the putt tournament last week from our Mechanicsville office, and he is just like baffled by this of like, you've never watched it. I was like, no. And so I told him either if we meet that goal, I'll either learn to ride a bike or watch one Star Wars film.
No, you got to learn how to ride a bike, and then we could just like cruise around Bedford.
Can we get a tandem?
Sure. Or I could just ride you on top of my handlebars.
We need to get one of
A
those.
basket?
What is the ones that they have now where like it's the beer, like you drive the beer
Oh, yeah,
truck
they have those
through
in, like,
you can sit
Nashville.
on
Oh, we're
the-
doing beer talk. Yes, that's what we need.
Oh, well,
just saying.
Beals is right up the street.
We might as well. We might as well. Go
Do you know
there.
what I was going to do one time? Little side story, real quick. You know those motorized
Like a
kid?
scooter?
No, the kid, like the Barbie wheels or whatever. You know what? With the
yeah,
little
like
battery.
a Jeep or whatever.
Yeah. So when I used to live just a few miles from town, you had to take this back road into town, and we were like, my friend and I, we were like, we're going to get some. And we're going to bring our chargers with us, and we're going to drive that up the sidewalk to Beals. And then, it had room for the growler in the back. And then we just plug it in and charge it, and then we drive on home. But how funny would that look?
I would do that. I would do that.
So really quickly, I'm going to interrupt.
That's fine.
I'm going to interrupt. So sad news.
Sad news.
Sad news is no. I did just hear from Mina's agent, which is I get to hear from people's agents.
I
Which
was
is,
like,
that's
that's so
cool.
fancy.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm well known. No, but so she's actually in the middle of filming. And so she wanted to call in, but I don't think she's going to make it before 1. She might still, but I just want to let people who are listening know, like, I didn't fib. Like she is supposed
Bait
to be
and
calling it.
switch.
I know, right? That's what I
You're
was
like,
doing. I
you're
wanted everyone to
getting-
just hear
you're
Libby.
getting Mina Starziak and you get Libby Orman.
Just wanted to give you a Libby Orman. However, I did want to take a quick second and do our trivia question for the day. Because we are sold out for our event, but I do have 1 ticket left to give
golden
away. So
ticket.
if you are listening and would like to attend the event we've been chatting about all day today, the trivia question is basically based off of Good Bones. And what is Mina and her mother, Karen, what is her hometown? Where do they host the show?
I almost said it.
I did too.
Yeah, you can't
I know.
answer it.
I almost said it.
So if you know the answer, it's 540-712-6221. And I'd like to thank our trivia sponsor, Tina Miller with Tupperware. And I know you guys have been hearing me talk about Tina this month. And, they're coming up on their 75th year anniversary, I've been seeing. So if you are in the need for some good quality containment for your items, I know, right? I like that word. Containment for your items.
Control that food.
You would like to quarantine your food
Yes.
inside of
Quarantine your
It's got to
food.
be socially distanced.
No, but you need to contact Tina Miller with Tupperware. I tell you, I have known Tina for years, and I trust her. She is the sweetest person.
love her.
And so contact her 434-851-5555, or, and I'm going to get it
Get
right
your
today.
dots right.
I'm going to get my dots right. tinamiller.my.tupperware.com. So message Tina and get your orders in. They make great gifts if you want to, especially like wedding gifts and housewarming.
And you can earn free products by doing like a book party, or I think she does she do online parties?
Mhm. Yep.
She does in-person parties. Yeah.
But even if you just want to mess with her and get to know Tina, again,
Absolutely.
she's
You want to
fantastic.
get to know
And I feel
Tina.
like they have so much, like when I think of Tupperware, I just think of like food storage, but they have so
They
much
do.
more stuff.
They do.
So
They do. And I love even like they have like little kids toys and
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember I think I played with some of those myself. When,
I did that red
was
and
younger.
blue ball
Yep.
that's got all the little yellow shapes in it.
Yep.
I grew up with that thing.
Yes.
I love it.
So call in 540-712-6221 and I have an Empower Women seminar ticket for you.
even if you're a man, call in, give it to your
Yes,
wife.
give it to your wife. Give
your
it to an
coworker.
employee. Yes, absolutely. And it's a $99 value, so
Worth every penny.
worth it. So back until we get a caller, back to Libby. I wanted to say when you posted that 5 things about you,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to be under there. I got lots of things I can put under there about Libby. I was just going to start
She gonna
posting.
smack talk.
So fun fact was when Libby and I met, we didn't realize we had known each other all our lives pretty much, or known like
We were best friends adjacent, like through everyone else.
we were
That is
gonna
the weirdest thing to say.
no, we were gonna play that game. What was it, like the
Like
7
6 degrees
Yes.
of separation.
Yeah, the 6 degrees of separation between Heather and Libby. Like you
Oh.
could tell us somebody, and we could find a way that we somehow were connected.
I'm not joking you. Heather is cousins with half of Lynchburg. Okay, let's just throw that out there. So literally,
So
I would
don't
just-
talk about anybody.
Yeah,
'cause
for
Heather is
real.
related.
Because we would be in a conversation and she would just be like, "Oh yeah," because I'd be like, "Oh, how do you know so and so?" And they're like, "She's like, that's my cousin." I'm like, "Of course it is."
That's how
Or-
Appomattox is.
Or that's my cousin's cousin, you know, and all this. And I'm just like, well, your cousin's cousin used to be my roommate, and you know, all this other
They
stuff.
were 4 times removed. And
Yeah, and then she was like, "Did you used to?" And then we were talking about one of our other cousins, and she was like, "Did you ever go to her grandma's pool and swim?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "That's my grandma's pool."
Yeah, so
Oh my god.
she was swimming up in my grandma's pool. I don't know who she was. I was
How
like,
do you not know? I didn't know we knew
Well,
each
we
other
went-
all our lives.
We went to different schools, and then I transferred schools, so we went further.
That is
Yep.
hysterical.
So basically, we just knew everybody's friends, and
I know. I remember Heather was just basically coming up to me after maybe like 6 months of knowing me and just be like, "Who are you? Like, why do you know everybody I know?" And so
I was like, get out of my business, get out of my family.
I know. But I'm gonna show up to the next reunion. So
you might as well.
I mean, I know everybody
How many
in the family
people are
now.
at this reunion?
Half of Lynchburg. It's
Good
half
Lord.
of Lynchburg.
It's like,
Have we known each other all our lives?
we might be related. I don't know.
I know.
Oh
Diane,
my
are we related?
gosh. I don't know.
Where are your people from?
Up north, Massachusetts and Rhode Island.
Shut your mouth. My dad's from
No.
Massachusetts.
Where?
Lynn.
Oh my goodness. So my mom used to live in Lynn. Sorry, I got a little excited.
I
I'm like, somebody else
know.
knows Lynn, Massachusetts?
Lynn and Swampscott area.
My original people were from Salem.
Were they
Yes.
witches?
Yeah. Well, no. Ann Putnam is my ancestor, and I have that in writing. Yes. Like I have the paperwork and everything.
I got papers.
I do. I got papers. She was the instigator. I don't know what that says about me.
Yeah, my dad is from, well, he lived in Swampscott. My grandfather worked in Lynn at GE and then came down in the 50s to Lynchburg. So that's how
Okay.
he migrated down here.
So I was born in Rhode Island, grew up in Virginia Beach, and then migrated to the cow fields in Appomattox.
Well, we
in
might
high
have to
school.
get our papers out and see if there's any
Yeah.
branches that cross on our
Could be.
ancestry.com.
We could be cousins, or I could be your aunt. Who knows? I don't
Oh, then
know.
then you get to, my daughter could be your niece.
Aw.
You would love that.
Yes.
So I have a text winner.
This took us.
I feel like we have the same facial expressions.
you and Willa.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's
Look, I'm just
the
interrupting
next
y'all.
that's the next Facebook page is Willa's face.
Sorry, Heather. What are we doing here?
Sorry.
I'm like,
oh,
I'm
we
done
have a
with-
trivia contest.
I'm like, I'm done with y'all's reunion. I have a text.
Heather's jealous because she's just we took her out.
I usually don't get to
You
talk
did.
much. This is new.
I know. I'm just sitting over here like letting y'all go. How come everybody? Okay, let's talk about this. This is like the 3rd episode. people have been saying something about how much I talk. I'm just going to not talk no more.
I appreciate that you talk a lot because I don't normally like to talk. So
Well,
I
if
just
y'all
let
need a
you go
ringer,
and
If you need a ringer, I can come every Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm free. Woody would love it. And then other people could win trivia and train because I wouldn't be calling in.
So we have a text winner, and I don't know if this counts, but I'm going to let it because we haven't had one called in yet. So Autumn Myers,
I love her.
who is that?
she's this girl. She hangs around a lot. I try and get rid of her, but she's my
I think
daughter.
I'm cousins
so
with her
I keep
too.
You might be. But she did guess correctly. It's Indianapolis. And so I'm going to give it to her because I really did not tell her. And the fact that she's even listening to me today, I'm very appreciative.
Thank you.
Because usually I tell her to listen to me and she's like, no, Mom, I don't want to. So, yeah. And she needs to come out. She's only 22. You need to come out, get some learning, get some empowerment.
Oh, was she not already coming?
No, she wasn't.
Oh, man.
But now she is.
Well,
Empowered
potentially.
women empower women.
the
I like
family's
that.
back.
It
Oh,
is.
Lord. The family's back.
Just bring everybody, Heather.
Bring them.
I'm just going to invite the whole crew.
Is Riley coming too, or is it leg day?
We do
for
have a
her?
limit on people.
Did you say is it leg day for Riley? Today is leg day for Riley.
She told me that the other day. She said, I can't do that, Miss Diane. I had leg day. I'm
she
like,
was-
what are you, 5? What are you
Yeah,
leg
she was
day?
at my office. Heather dropped something off like a week or two ago, and she would Riley's like, oh, like saying something. And Heather's like, if you don't stop, we're not gonna go to gymnastics. And you could just see this like smile across her face where she was like, yeah, we're not gonna go to gymnastics. I was like, you don't want to go? She's like, it's leg day. I was like, you're 9.
Oh my God.
Isn't she
Well,
9?
You
She's
know,
9.
Yeah.
according to all the memes on Facebook, leg day is important. So you don't want to skip that. You don't want to look all uneven, top
Right.
heavy, and
Chicken
Yes.
leg.
yeah.
9-year-old life problems.
Right.
Leg day on Wednesdays for
Yeah.
gymnastics. So, but no, she's not attending. She did attend last year when Miss
Yep, America.
America
I
came
remember. She had a little
because
sash.
she had her little sash because she was Miss Bedford County Fair.
I need to
for
get
2
Willa
years.
involved because I feel like she would win with her faces in pageants.
I would vote for her
I'm
with her
joking.
faces.
She-
I was like, that is a child after my own heart with that,
Oh man.
what is it, RBF or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mike Norfeld calls it resting baby face.
Oh, see, she's got it going on.
She just
I strive.
I thought you were getting ready to say the word. And I was going to be like, Woody.
no.
Yes.
I'm aware.
We're not allowed to cuss on this show. That would be
I'm
improper.
aware.
This is a family show.
It is. I
Clearly,
guess.
we're all related. Obviously.
Woody, are we related over there?
Yeah. Where your
What's
people
your family
from?
tree? He's like, I'd rather not say.
We're going to come back on next week.
Yeah.
We'll tell everybody.
I think Woody's wife taught me calligraphy one time. Did she used to teach calligraphy classes?
She did. Where'd
Yeah.
you take it? At the academy? Or
When she was on Rivermont Avenue.
Yeah, oh, yeah, we
Yes.
owned Rivermont Bakery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know all the people.
We know everybody.
I mean, I don't know her. I wouldn't say hi to her if I saw her at Walmart because I don't know her like that. But I was
I know her penmanship.
yeah. This show just took a turn. I hope my bosses really did not listen today.
For those that are listening, we are extremely sorry for the nonsense. But I'm here to tell you what, I think that's what makes this show awesome. And I love it because
know.
it's so much fun. And we just get here and it's laid back. And I feel like we are a wealth of information for anyone who actually dials in for a full hour.
Yeah. Do y'all want to talk about anything else in my life?
I mean, we've got 5
Yes,
minutes.
Junior League. Let's talk about that
Junior
real quick.
League. Love
Yes.
the Junior League. So I am a past president of the Junior League and current sustainer director, which means I am a voting member on their board. They like to bring the old timers back sometimes and let us be like, well, back in my day, we did this, So I was I was president 10 years ago, which seems forever ago. But the Junior League is, if you are a woman that is interested in civic organizations, in volunteerism, in just, perfect segue in women empowerment, if you will, that is the place for you. So they are, I want to say this, and oh my gosh, if anybody's listening from there, please don't shoot me if I'm wrong. I want to say it's the 95th year of the Junior
Wow,
League of
seriously?
Lynchburg. Because I feel like we were getting ready to do 85 when I was president, so 95 years. And they have a history in Lynchburg that most people don't realize. So Amazement Square, the Free Clinic, Kids Haven, things like that, all were Junior League projects to start with. The spray ground
Yeah,
at
I was
Riverside
just going
Park.
to say that because
Oh,
That was
did
when I
not
was
know
president.
that.
Yeah, they cut the ribbon when I was president of the junior league on the Riverside Park spray ground. And people don't realize that those were gifts from the junior league that these women just worked at. And like Amazement Square, that was a junior league project. They worked it until Amazement Square was able to become their own nonprofit. And, and that's just a huge gift to the city. And,
I did not realize that.
Yes.
So, what is their primary goal? Like, what is their?
Well, basically what they do is they will fundraise and then give grants out. So they're a nonprofit, so they're not in it for the money or anything like that. And it's all about giving back to the community. So they will do initiatives. And like we were talking a little bit earlier, they're doing an initiative with Johnson Health and about, this is going to take another turn in our conversation, but it's like their PAD initiative where they are giving hygiene products to women that would not normally have access to proper hygiene products. And because apparently that is a big issue. And I'll let them come on one day and tell you way more about that. But I know like when I was in the league, our big initiative at one point was Smart Moves, where it was battling childhood obesity. So they pick a different initiative every couple of years and really invest in it and work at it. And I mean, it's just such a great organization. I've lived in Lynchburg my whole life, as we previously talked about. Heather and I are old besties apparently. But I joined the junior league when I was 24, I think. And I met women that I would never have met otherwise because I lived over in like the Timberlake Forest area. They lived, elsewhere. And we've become like the best of friends. Like, two of my bridesmaids were from junior league. My child's godmother is from junior league. Like, those kind of things. So, just made such great, relationships through there. And also these women especially the women that are in junior league now are phenomenal. I mean, you've got people that are counselors and doctors and all this. And so they find somewhere in their spare time of being mothers and wives and doctors and lawyers and all this other stuff, they find the time to give to the league. And so they are truly incredible women that are definitely worth speaking to if you ever get the chance to. And one of them I have in mind when we were talking about the Athena Award. I definitely have one that I have been plotting to nominate for the Young Professional. I've been plotting to nominate her for Young Professional since last year. So you will be getting my handwritten essay on May 6th.
You'll notice that she said we were besties apparently, yet I'm not the godmother, nor was I a bridesmaid. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And we're going to stop talking about that right now. But
Well, my next wedding. The next
Luke, if you're listening,
Sorry,
Luke, I have
Wow.
nothing to do with that.
Get your paperwork ready.
Hope you got that life insurance.
He does.
It's hot in here today.
It is hot
in here.
Wow.
So everyone, thank you so much for listening to us today. I'm
Where's the
sorry that
train?
we couldn't get no train, no Mina today, but we're hoping I'm trying to do some rescheduling and getting her on with us next week. But I do want to very quickly thank our show sponsors, Sunburst Vinyl. They're your local stop for home improvement and windows, vinyl, siding, gutters, so much that they can do for you here locally. So please check out Sunburst Vinyl. You can check out their website, sunburstvinyl.com, or visit their showroom at 1731 Sunburst Road in Ebbington. And then ID3 Media Productions are here to help you grow your business through video. So check out their spring special and contact them at 434-262-0465. And make sure to tune in to Grove Street FM. Today, Life, Liberty, Happiness is up later on. And then we'll see you next week.